Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm EnGenius James, and I'd like to welcome everyone in this webinar organized by Convena to introduce actually EnGenius to be one new partner of Convena to be distributed by Convena. So I will take it easy to start to let everyone, maybe some people have some difficulties to log in into this webinar. So I will just start slowly with some logistic things here. First of all, I like to mention that this webinar is being recorded and it will be later also available. We will share it to Convena to put it on the website. The second thing that I like to mention here is that in the handout section, you can find this presentation that I'm using for today. You can find it to be downloadable from the platform. And the last thing that I would like to mention is that in the end of this presentation, I will have a question and answer, and actually in the question field you can later place your question. So I will not open the microphones, but you can just type your question. I will browse through which questions I can answer during the webinar, since the webinar is being recorded. Okay, so yes, let me just start from now with the presentation. So again, I like to welcome everyone, all the customers from Convena who are invited to this webinar of EnGenius, where we actually want to introduce ourselves, EnGenius, as a Wi-Fi brand to bring tomorrow's technology, Wi-Fi 6 or 11AX, in the Convena product portfolio. First of all, I actually would like to say the following words that actually the title Tomorrow's Technology would already be maybe is open for improvement, because I do believe that 11AX, we call it tomorrow's technology, but we have it available today. Okay, so with that said, I just want to go to the presentation, and let me go to the slide of the agenda. So what we're going to talk about today is about the 11AX, Wi-Fi 6, and we want to talk a little bit first about why EnGenius, or who is EnGenius, why do we need Wi-Fi 6, and a little bit of the understanding of the technology of Wi-Fi 6. And then we will talk about Wi-Fi 6 that we have as EnGenius and which we provide to Convena. Okay, so the first slide is actually why EnGenius, or who is EnGenius? Well, first of all, I would like to mention that we as EnGenius, we are a networking brand with a company behind us, which is Now, and we are actually one of the biggest Wi-Fi device manufacturers in the world, and we actually produce for a lot of brands, OEM or ODM, access points and wireless devices for different brands. And EnGenius is the brand, our own brand, which we use to sell our own access point under the name EnGenius. Okay, and what do we stand for? As a specialist in producing Wi-Fi devices, we have a few things that we think that are important. First of all, networking devices are available from low end to high end to enterprise. And what we want to focus on is the mainstream market, the middle market, small to medium businesses, small enterprises. So what we want to focus on in our product portfolio is the following points. So first of all, simplified VLAN deployment, which we want to emphasize that we want to offer a solution that is very simple to use, but still have all the features. On top of that, we emphasize on low cost management. Looking at enterprise brands normally charge you fees for licensing and for the management of the devices. Okay, this is something that we want to change. We want to have reduce or even totally eliminate all these costs for the management to offer a low cost solution for the people who really use the access points. Of course, reduced total cost of ownership. That's something that we think about. Still, keeping performance in our devices. We want to focus on the performance of our devices. You get value for your money. Extended connectivity, scalability, where we want to emphasize on that to consider that people can be small, but the deployments can grow along with the customer, or then the need for access points can grow. So we want to have a solution which is scalable, starting from 1 access points up to 10,000 access points, using the same platform, and only grow and pay what you need. Mobility, also focusing on how mobile are you in a way that we can have management from different places. No matter where you are, you can still manage your network. Security is also very important. And also what we focus on is that we do not only provide indoor access points, but we also supply outdoor access points. Okay, so these are a few points that I just want to focus what we EnGenius stand for. So going back to the main topic, okay, why do we need Wi-Fi 6 or 11ax? Wi-Fi demand is increasing exponentially, and we all need more and more supply of data. So there is a really tremendous increasing in demand of Wi-Fi, and not only Wi-Fi in pieces, but also in quantity, in Wi-Fi in speed and throughput. And what we can see is that at this moment, about 8 billion devices are currently in use. And every year, 3 billion new devices are being sold into the market. And what we also see is that the innovation and the technology is increasing. And at this moment, more than half of all the internet traffic already goes over Wi-Fi. And what we actually can see is that the wireless traffic is going to increase. If you look at it, if you compare the wired and the wireless traffic, it will definitely increase along the years. And this slide shows a little bit about what kind of appliances are growing. So home automation systems is something that is growing. A very big growth in smart appliances like smart watches, smart glasses, wearables, like this the step counter, healthcare devices. Also more and more devices in healthcare are going to be wireless. Also very big growth in the automotive industry, and also in the industrial other applications. Okay, so looking at the different segments, continuing there is that not only the segments are growing, but also the quantity of devices per client are growing. And what we also see is that the usage of devices are going to be used by more and more people. Just as a funny example, I have a grandma, she is 84 years old, and she is using a tablet and she is using a telephone with Wi-Fi, whereas like 5 years ago, she would not think about this, but now she cannot avoid it because she wants to WhatsApp with my kids, and so that's why she also needs to have a Wi-Fi, and she's also using Wi-Fi. So older people are using Wi-Fi. Also, younger people are using Wi-Fi. As I remember, when I was young, Wi-Fi didn't even exist. But if you look at my kids now, they are now in the house, and they're using iPads to follow their school, since we are now all at home. What we also see is that more and more multimedia devices are going to be changed to be Wi-Fi devices. And all the small devices around us, refrigerator, cameras, doorbell, those IoT devices are also growing tremendously. So we see a lot of quantities of Wi-Fi devices growing, where it increased the demand for Wi-Fi. Okay, another thing is 4G and 5G offload, but I have another slide for that. First, I go to this slide. So as I mentioned, the quantity of wireless clients devices are going to increase. And at this moment, we see that there are like 2.5 Wi-Fi devices in general that we use. And in some high capacity application, it goes up to 4 devices. But we actually expect that in the short future, people will have about 13 connected devices per person, connecting where we need the Wi-Fi. So in general, we see that the quantity of Wi-Fi devices is going to be increased. Okay, besides the quantity of the devices, I don't have the slides for the traffic. We can also imagine, or it's just a fact that the quantity of data, the data throughput that we require, is also increasing tremendously. I mean, for example, in the past, we can just watch movies at 640 by 480 resolution that we go in YouTube. Now you have HD content, you have 4K content, and that as well applies to streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus. So not only the quantity of devices is growing, but also the quantity of traffic that we need. So the other thing that I wanted to show you was 4G and 5G offload. Okay, so many times I get this question from many customers to say, yes, but James, do you think Wi-Fi is going to continue to grow? Because I have my phone now here, which is having 4G, and I have 100 Mbit on my phone, just or even more. And with 5G, it goes up to gigabit speeds on my phone. So don't you think that Wi-Fi is going to be less? Because I get my subscription for maybe 30-40 euro per month, and I have really fast Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, internet on my phone. So do you think Wi-Fi is going to grow? I would say definitely yes, because it's already proven that the the basis to be able to provide 4G and 5G from the service provider to the phone, it has to be supported by Wi-Fi. What I'm trying to say is that if you are in a city and you are connected, or you are anywhere, doesn't matter where you are, you're connected to your ISP, okay? And with your phone, you have cellular traffic, right? But even those access points, the cellular access points, they also have a big limitation in quantity of users and also the throughput, okay? With 4G and especially with 5G, the providers, they want to provide you a certain speed. They say to you, you have 100 Mbit, or you have 1 gigabit or 2 gigabit data rate, because you have a 5G access point, if you have a 5G device. But they will not be able to cater all this traffic from their cellular access points to your phone. Of course, if you are one client connected to the access point, it would not be a problem. But if you are in a city area and there are like 200 people connected to that same cellular access point, they will not be able to guarantee that speed. So to enable to give the possibility to maintain the speed of your contract, that okay, you have a 4G or 5G contract, the providers also need to find any other way to offload, and that's the key word here, offload their cellular access points. And what they can do is use 4G or 5G offloading to different kind of Wi-Fi devices. So the growth of 4G and 5G and the performance of 4G and 5G will grow along together with the growth of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi cannot go, or 4G and 5G cannot guarantee those speeds without the offload to Wi-Fi. So you see in this table here that we definitely expect that the growth of offloading to Wi-Fi is growing along with the 4G and 5G data throughput. So this part of the presentation, I talked about why do we need Wi-Fi. There is simply a big demand and increasing demand for Wi-Fi, both on users and on the other side also on data throughput and traffic speed. So understanding technology of Wi-Fi 6 and or 11ax. Okay, first of all, I like to explain the difference about Wi-Fi 6 and 11ax. So if we look scientifically on the background of Wi-Fi standards, we normally talk about the standard of the 802.11 something. So we are currently in the 11ac state phase, and we are now growing into the 11ax phase, which is the scientific, how to say, the naming, the official naming of this standard. Okay, Wi-Fi 6 is another word which is designed, or which is come up with by the Wi-Fi Alliance. So worldwide there is this Wi-Fi Alliance that wants to set a standard, or who's trying to standardize the scientific technology of the Wi-Fi, of the 802.11 something. Okay, and just to make it more easy for normal people to understand, okay, what kind of Wi-Fi do you have, then they make this word up Wi-Fi 6. So in other words, Wi-Fi 6 is another word of the 802.11ax standard. And following that, or actually calculating back, 11AC is Wi-Fi 5 and 11N is Wi-Fi 4. So those terms, Wi-Fi 6 or 11ax, can be used interchangeable. Okay, 11ax. Okay, EnGenius collaborates with Qualcomm, and Qualcomm is one of the big brands that are making these chipsets, besides Broadcom and Intel and Marvell, whatever. But we are using, EnGenius is using Qualcomm. Just for your information. And yeah, so what is Wi-Fi 6 or 11ax? So here I plotted out different standards of Wi-Fi, and we had in the past 11ABG up to 54 megabits, and then we had 11N, which is capable to go up to 600 megabits. Then we have Wi-Fi 5 11AC, which also goes to 1733 megabits, also the Wave 2 standard of that. And finally, we have the 11AX. And you can definitely see there is a really big increase in the speed of Wi-Fi 6. So as I mentioned, we work together with Qualcomm, and this slide is actually taken from a press release where Qualcomm was introducing the 11AX technology. And I just want to point out that Qualcomm really endorsed us to be one of the partners to provide enterprise wireless in collaboration with Qualcomm. So what actually is 11AX, and what is the most important things of 11AX? Okay, just for short, as a summary, 11AX is 4 times the 11AC that we have in the latest technology, in the previous technology. And the 11AX is just the following answer on 11AC. We have now 11AX, which is 4 times faster. Just to give you a quick understanding, so what is it for? Why do we need it? It's 4 times faster. And it's 4 times faster, especially if you look at high density environments. And without going into too deep into the technology of 11AX, I just want to plot out a few things that to understand why 11AX can be so fast. Okay, so there are 3 pillars actually that makes 11AX faster or way faster than the 11AC current standard. First of all, it's greater capacity. Second thing, higher efficiency. And the third thing is improved performance. And there are a few things that help the 11AX to achieve this up to 4 times faster or higher throughput in the performance. Okay, the first thing that we can see is that the download and upload OFDMA. It means that there is a certain way of packing data into small packages to send it over the wireless. And you can throw packages in sequence of each other, but you can also throw and receive package at the same time. And what the 11AX is doing is that you can actually send and receive more packages at the same time, and that makes the Wi-Fi way more efficient for sending data in total. And also the way of packing the data itself is helping to increase the speed. So there is a certain technology that calls modulation, and what 11ax does, one package, they pack it in a more efficient way, that more data can go into one small package. So that means that they can send more data at the same time. So in the previous 11ac standard, the 256 QAM was used, and in 11ax 1024 QAM modulation is used to get more denser packing of data into one small package. Also, the fact that at the same time and to multiple users, send and receive packages definitely increase the quantity of data that can be sent. So in 11ac, you can only download packages to 3 clients at the same time. But with 11ax, you can both upload and download data to multiple users, up to 8 streams at the same time. And also, the more efficient way of using the Wi-Fi spectrum definitely increase the performance of your Wi-Fi. So in BSS coloring, that's a function that give us how to say give a different color. They divide the channel into a different color. You can imagine that if I am using a certain channel, okay, then it's better not to have the same channel used by the next access point. If they do so, they will interfere each other. But with BSS coloring, they will. It's like, okay, if I'm for example use channel 36, and if the other access point is also using channels 36, we actually are using the same channel and we actually disturb each other. But what does BSS coloring do? It actually is saying, okay, I'm using channel 36, but let me add another number there. Let me add A, 36A. And if the next access point is saying, okay, then I will use 36B, then every package that I send with my indication that this is A and the other one is B, it will avoid the interference between the channels. So with the BSS coloring, you can actually have something like overlapping channels, but you're not really overlapping because it's a little bit different. You color it on a certain different color. The next thing, or the last two things that I want to highlight in this technology, is that there is this technology or this protocol that's called target wake time. Target wake time lets your devices to keep a radio receiver asleep and only wake up as needed. So it's like, okay, it's not your turn at this moment. Come back in 3 milliseconds, for example. So then the device can like not broadcast for this 3 milliseconds and only come 3 milliseconds later. So it will definitely reduce the client battery life, and especially with all these IoT devices who are using battery for a long time. Yeah, with this feature, they will even increase the battery life as well. And then for the longer OFDM symbols, enables a shorter wait time between data transmission and tolerates more noise, which allows greater coverage for the coverage of the Wi-Fi. So we talked about the need of Wi-Fi. We talked about a little bit what is Wi-Fi 6, and the next part that I'm going to talk about is the products that we are offering from EnGenius. So first of all, 11AX, of course, is suitable for all places in the channel. And just a few examples here. You can find EnGenius products in education, in SMB mainly, healthcare, logistic, home automation, public venues, transportation, hospitality, and also even for managed service providers. And at this moment, many installers are also already using EnGenius. So what do we offer as EnGenius? First of all, I need to mention that from the side of EnGenius, we actually have two main product lines. And the first product line that we already have for many years is the manageable indoor or the manageable access points that we have, which is managed by an on-premise solution. So we have a controller, and we focus on the controller to be the easy master, which you can install on a virtual machine on a PC. And this controller can manage access points either locally or remotely. So this controller you can just freely download. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that one of the things is that we have a low cost in the management. So you can download a free management software, you can install it on your PC, and you can manage access points from that controller. Of course, those access points will also work without the controller, but the solution is designed that you have a controller that you can use to manage up to 10,000 access points for free. Okay, so this is the first product line. And so far, for the implementation of 11AX, we have two products ready for this product line, which are the indoor models. And we have a third model, which is an outdoor model upcoming, to be available in July, which will be an outdoor 11AX access point. Okay, so we have this access points 11AX indoor. I will show that later in the hands-on, which are under the on-premise Wi-Fi management solution. So on the other hand, we do have a cloud managed solution. Okay, so we have on-premise and we have cloud. And for cloud, currently we have also two models available. Also in a later stage, we will have also outdoor access points based on 11AX. We do have already access points which are not 11AX yet, but since of course this is a new technology, we have to gradually phase it in. Okay, so going back to the previous product line. Sorry. So what we see here is that we have two models for the indoor devices, and I will just focus a little bit more on the indoor devices. And you see that there are actually two models that are very similar. Okay, I show you later the difference in size in the hands-on. But what we actually see is that we have a model which is 4x4 on both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz channels, and the other device is a 2x2 also on 2.4 and 5 gigahertz channel. So function-wise, both of these devices are similar, but simply that the fact that this is a 4x4 device, it's actually like that this access point is like twice the size in both real size, but also in performance and in capability of catering or managing wireless clients. It's just twice the size. So looking at the difference between the two 2x2 devices and the 4x4 devices, they are just simply like twice of the access point that you can have. And you can see that also yeah, in the radio specifications, of course, the numbers are double. Also, the speeds are double because it simply can cater a wider range of bandwidth. What we also see is that this 4x4 device is supplied with a 2.5 gigabit uplink port, while the other 2x2 device has a 1 gigabit uplink port, because of course it does not need so many data to go inside or outside the access point on the backside. Okay, so we have this both similar models as well in the cloud series. The actual access points look very similar, and the only difference between those models actually are the fact that the firmware is a little bit, well, it's totally different, and also the memory size is different for the cloud models. And these models are of course managed totally from the cloud. So we have a cloud platform which is available for free, and if you want to work with the cloud access points, you may want to, yeah, you have to make an account, and you can manage the access points from the fully cloud platform. But that's a total different story, where today we are going to focus on 11AX. So just one click back a little bit to the outdoor access point. Working very hard to launch this product, which is very similar in specification as the indoor device, but of course with an outdoor housing, IP67 rating, and it has external antennas. And we are working hard to get this product ready to be one of the first available 11AX access points for outdoor. Also interesting to mention is the fact that we do have this 2x2 solution on 11AX. If you look at the competitors, many competitors are actually providing 4x4 or even 8x8 really high-end and really expensive enterprise access points. These access points are very yeah, only for certain places and certain projects available, where a lot of budget for implementing Wi-Fi is available. But we have this opportunity to work together with Qualcomm, and they provide us with this 2x2 chipset, which is more in the price range of the current 11AC solution, and where we can actually offer a solution in 11AX technology at only a fraction of higher price than comparing an 11AC deployment. So this makes us quite unique in be able to give tomorrow's technology already at the price of today. So this is also one thing that we really stand out against our competition. Okay, so quickly going over a few things about the EWS 357 and the ECW 220. Actually, like I said, the hardware specifications are very similar, except for the fact that the memory is different. So because different software and different capabilities, the cloud versions are higher in memory. Few things need to highlight here. Of course, WPA3 is available, seamless roaming, and yeah, so this one is with the 1 gigabit port. And if I go to the 4x4 device, which will have, of course, higher throughput, it will have it has a 2.5 gigabit port on the yeah, for the connection to the wired side. And that gives me the reason why I just want to show you this slide. Like I said, the 4x4 devices, they are coming with a 2.5 gigabits port, and yeah, to have a full functioning device working on the 2.5 gigabit, you of course need to have a 2.5 gigabit switch to connect it. So what we have in our switch product line is that we also are having the 2.5 gigabit switches available to have the full to have the full performance of our 2.5 gigabit access points. It's proven that if you use the 2.5 gigabit switch in combination with this access point, you will have also a really one-to-one 2.5 times better performance, total performance of the access point if you compare it with if you connect it to a 1 gigabit switch port. Okay, so just quickly how it looks like. Let me see if I can turn my camera on. Okay, so I actually have a few examples here of the access points that we have in 11AX. So as I had also a webinar yesterday, my hands are not really big, just medium-sized hands, I think, average size. And so we have actually two, I mentioned we have a 4x4 access point on 11AX, and we do have a 2x2 access point. So the design itself is very similar. Actually, they look quite the same, but the size is bigger for the 4x4 access point. And yeah, I just want to show them here because yeah, just want to show how they look like. What is very remarkable of the design, I personally like the design. It's really nice, well done, slick design. They're also very flat. I don't know if you can see it, but they're very thin. If you mount it on the ceiling, then it does not come out too much. They're quite nice here. Or if you want to mount it on the wall, and it doesn't stick out too much. So that's one very big advantage. But also very remarkable is the quality of this device. Of course, the front panel is from ABS plastic, but yeah, of course that's needed because the antennas are on the inside, and you need to have it be able to come out. On the other side, we can see that the back side of or the bottom side of this device, this is die-cast aluminium, and that's has a few reasons, and one of it is to have a reflective how to say background to beam the antenna to the other side, so you don't beam back into the wall that absorbs the Wi-Fi, but you have a reflector to let the antenna beam go to the other side. And the other thing why we have the die-cast housing is that it will also work as a heatsink for the heat that has been produced by the processor. Now, 11AX devices, especially the 4x4, if the performance is high, you have to imagine that a lot of data is going through this device. So an additional heatsink is definitely needed for this. So yes, just a difference in size. You see there is a small difference here, but you can see there is a common way of mounting. So these screw holes can be used for hanging it on the wall. For the ceiling, there is another clip, but I'll come back to that later in the next slide. But you can see here is a reset button, and we have the 2.5 LAN port, and we have even an optional DC 12 volt adapter input. So you can choose to use PoE, or you can use an an AC adapter which is sold separately. Also is for here, but here we have a normal 1 gigabit LAN port, reset button, and there is the AC DC input. Sorry, DC input. Okay. Oh, just a small side step here. I put here for privacy reason a sticker over the serial number, but just to show you quickly, because this is a cloud access point and there is the QR code under this sticker to scan the access point to add them to the cloud. Okay, coming back to the slides. Let me turn this off. Go to the next slide. So the devices are designed to be installed on the wall or on the ceiling, and we have a special clip here which is designed. We have 2 clips included in the packaging and designed to be clicked on a T-rail, which is the normal standard system which is used in the ceiling. And we have 2 different sizes for 2 different systems to click the clip into the ceiling, and then you can connect them to you can slide the access point on that. And for the wall mount, you can just use the screws what I just indicated in the previous showing of the slide. Okay, so why should we use EnGenius Wi-Fi 6? So, of course, Wi-Fi 6 is the latest technology, and it supports the future of the mobile technology. It's still backwards compatible to 11AC, and I also would like to mention that if you already use 11AX access points, even without the 11AC, even without having 11AX clients, the total performance of your network will already increase because of the efficient technology that works separately from the Wi-Fi itself, but it is embedded in the 11AX access points. It will already give you more efficient handling of the clients. So it's especially useful for densely crowded environments. Of course, it has beamforming technology to create a stronger and faster and more reliable communication. It's WPA compliant and also Passpoint certified for the Wi-Fi Alliance. And WPA3 is the latest security technology. And of course, if you are buying the latest technology, you will definitely have a more future-proof support for maybe even newer security technologies. Another thing is that EnGenius is the first vendor to have the 2x2 11AX access points in collaboration with Qualcomm, who provide us this chipset, and where we have the opportunity to to supply the 11AX technology almost at the same price of the 11AC deployments. And we have, with this access point, we have the most affordable Wi-Fi 6 access point in the market, where we see that if we compare the 4x4 11AX is like 1/3 of the enterprise brands in the price range. Our access points are remotely manageable with no license fees or hardware management. And as I mentioned, we have 2 different series. One is managed by the on-premise management solution, and the other product line, which is the cloud product line, is managed totally from a real cloud. And we offer limited lifetime warranty on all our products that are on 11AX. So last slide that I have is this slide, and this is a little bit of a surprise. This is a QR code which gives the link to our partner portal, and the first 20 new registered partners who from now on register with on the partner portal will win an EMD1 supplied by Convena Distribution. So this is my last slide for this presentation, and I will keep this slide open for a few minutes to let you guys scan this code for partner portal. Okay, so last 10 minutes of my presentation time. I will, like I mentioned in the beginning, I will see if there are some questions that I can answer during this webinar. If there are no, if I cannot answer, if I don't answer them in this webinar, I will send an email. So I would, if there are any questions, please put them in the question field. Let me see what we have now. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I don't see any questions in the question field. Let me see if there's something in the chat field. Okay. No questions here. Okay, I don't see any questions. So then if there are no further questions, okay, now I see a question. Will the performance of the 11AX network decrease if clients use 11AC? Okay, question here, will the performance of the 11AX network decrease if clients use 11AC? Of course, if there are more clients connected to a network, the total speed, the total throughput will drop a little bit. You have to divide it over multiple clients. So in total, you will definitely see more, so decrease in if you're connected to multiple clients. But 11AX, especially once the protocols are working in a very quick way of connecting to each other or connecting to clients and adapting to the speed of the client. And I do believe that you will see a small difference of speed decrease if you use 11AC. Let me assume mixed. But in general, 11AX technology will definitely try to get the most efficient speed out of the network. Okay, yes, we still maintain a high speed of 11 as one of the user use an 11BG standard. Now, I think okay, so the question here, I think the speed will still maintain. One client will use on 11AX, and then the other client will work on a different standard. That I think that will still stay. Yeah, the access point will switch very quickly to use different standards. But of course, the total speed, if you are only using 11AX clients, that will, yeah, that will be faster than if you want to switch. Okay, another question that I found is here: what is needed to reach full potential of 11AX, or rather reach 9,600 Mbps? Okay, let me go to the slide of that. Go back. Okay. Yeah, okay, 11AX has the maximum speed of 9,600 Mbps. So this data rate actually is the maximum PHY, the physical layer speed. So 9,600 Mbps is based on if you are using a client. So it's a theoretical number, okay? So if you're using a client that is 8x8, and you have, and if you're fully using the 8 streams of an access point, Then even with the bandwidth of 160 megahertz and using the highest coding rate, which is the 1025 QAM, then it will be able to do 9600 Mbps. And of course, this is a theoretical number. Yes, but in real life, speeds are are really increased a lot when you use 11ax. Okay, another question here. Are there any standards for the distance at 11ax? Okay, I'm not 100% sure if I understand this question correctly, but we have to imagine, or we have to understand that the higher throughput that you have on Wi-Fi requires the environment to have less noise, and noise can be anything. Noise can even be distance. Noise can be some devices that some obstacles that can give a disturbance in the signal. So I can imagine that, of course, if you start in the most ideal situation with a very, very high throughput, say this theoretical number of 9600 Mbps, if there are no obstacles and at a short distance, you will definitely maybe have it, maybe reach it. Of course, theoretically, this is a theoretical number, but yeah, let's think theoretical now. But yes, 11ax will definitely, the speed, the real throughput will definitely decrease if the distance is longer and if you have more obstacles than that, which can give more noise in the signal to noise ratio, and then of course it will step down the speed for sure. Are there any more questions? This one I had. Okay, I don't see any new questions. Of course, through Convena, you can always drop your question and we will ask Convena to forward these questions to us. And if you go to our website or just drop a question to sales or to support at EnGeniusNetworks.eu, support at EnGenius.eu or sales at EnGeniusNetworks.eu, you can always reach us to give any question that you want, and we'll just do our best to answer your questions. Looking at the time right now, I think my time slot is almost ended. Yeah, so let me browse back to the last slide to give you a little bit more opportunity to find the QR code to go directly to our partner portal. So I'm not sure how fast or how is the status for the registration of the partners, but of course it will be you will get a message by us directly if you're entitled to get a free EMD1 from Convena. Okay, so hereby I would like to close this webinar. I thank everyone for your attention here. And yes, please stay in touch, first of all, with Convena if you are interested in our products. Also take a look at the partner portal where you can find a lot of information, more information about our products, archived webinars. This one is especially arranged by Convena for the Convena customers, but of course there are a lot of general webinars that are available about our technology and the products that we have. So yes, feel free to contact us or through Convena, and I all wish you a very safe and healthy rest of the day in this very difficult time with this crisis at this moment. But still, we keep on. We keep on selling, and we keep on focusing on our new technologies on the Wi-Fi. Thank you very much, and hope to see you the next time. Bye bye.